It's the last day of the 24-25 NBA season, and the season ended in a bang. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Not at all. A lot of teams just put their worst players out there. And I mean no disrespect when I say their worst players. I just mean the bottom of their rotation, because all their key players were resting for most of the games at least. But this video is about two key players that had something to play for today. So Malik Beasley is a shooting guard for the Detroit Pistons, and he entered the game today against the Bucks with 312 three-pointers made, which was second in the league to Ant Edwards, who had 313. Malik Beasley had the first game. He played at 110. In the game, he shot 7 for 11 from 3, so he would end the season with 319 threes made. At that time, he was first in the league, 319 to Ant's 313. Anthony Edwards' game started at 340, and his game would be against the Utah Jazz. He would need 6 threes to tie Malik Beasley and 7 to pass him. At 352, Malik Beasley would tweet, "Ant, you're gonna need 7 threes to beat me." Ant came out and he was shooting a lot of threes. He was hoisting. Ant would end up shooting 7 for 18 from 3 in the game. And his team actually needed to win. Malik Beasley's team didn't need to win, so he could have shot as many shots as he wanted. But Ant needed to win. And it was against the Utah Jazz, so it wasn't going to be a challenge. But he clearly wanted to lead the league in threes. Ant was even seen telling his coach at one point in the game, when he only had 5 threes made and the coach had taken him out, he told him, he's like, "No, put me back in. I just need 2 more. I promise you." I think this was important for Ant to do for a few reasons. One, he answered the challenge. Malik Beasley literally called him out on Twitter for everybody to see it. He saw him call him out. If he didn't respond that way, it wouldn't have been a huge deal, but the fact that he responded the way he did shows his competitive spirit. Another reason I think it was important for Ant to pass him is because he solidified himself as a shooter. Anthony Edwards led the league in three-pointers made this year. Nobody would have ever guessed that he would have done that. It's funny because earlier this year, he came out the gate shooting a lot of threes, and he was shooting at a much higher percentage. He was shooting over 40. He finished shooting 39%, which is still great. But earlier in the season, he was shooting over 40, and everyone's telling him, "Oh, you need to put pressure on the defense. You need to attack the rim more."
Look at the game on what they're doing and understand that just because someone sags off doesn't mean take that open shot.
Man, what would you say to somebody who said you're shooting too many threes?
Fuck him. Simple, yeah.
Even here, he's telling a story about Mike Conley telling him to attack the rim more.
I mean, it's kind of funny because Mike be trying to tell me, like, get downhill, and I'm like, bro, they going under. You know what I mean? Like, I work on my game too much to try to force going downhill if they're going to keep going under. So I'm going to shoot that. I really be surprised at this point. Like, I made like 2 threes in the first quarter today, and then in the third, I came out and made one, and they kept going under. I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep shooting. Like, I don't know what they doing, but I'm going to keep shooting.
See, look, he's saying they go under his screens. If you're going under his screens, why would you want him to still go to the rim? You wouldn't tell Steph Curry that. You wouldn't tell Steph Curry to attack the rim more. And I get it. He's not Steph Curry, but he actually finished with more threes than Steph Curry did this year. Steph Curry finished with 311. So he beat Steph Curry by 7 threes. Nobody would have ever thought that. No one would ever tell Steph Curry, "Oh, if someone's going under your screens, still go to the rim." Like, if you're going under, that's literally, them going under your screens is them daring you to shoot. And not even always in a disrespectful way, but sometimes it's more of a pick your poison. Like, oh, we'd rather him shoot than attack the rim. Because at that point, you're playing the percentage games. Like, the chances of him attacking the rim and scoring is much higher than the chances of him hitting this 3, even though he can hit the 3. But yeah, make him pay. And he said it. Ant said it. He works too hard in the offseason. He works too hard on his game to let them go under his screens. So now next year, you're going to have to find different ways to play him. But players like Damian Lillard, you're not going to go under his screens. Players like Klay Thompson, if someone's sending a ball screen for him, you're not going to go under. No. So Ant wants to be looked at in that category. And that's just going to open his game up for him. He's just going to be able to drive to the rim much easier in the future. I still think Malik Beasley had a great season, and especially after a few years ago when he was in LA, how those Los Angeles fans tortured him. And, you know, it is partly his fault because, you know, he wasn't producing, but those fans were bad to him. And I feel like had he had one more year like that, who knows, he could have been out the league. But the next year he went to Milwaukee and he had a great year. And then he got paid this year in Detroit, and Detroit got their money's worth. Look, they're in the playoffs now, and everyone's saying it's just because of Cade, but Malik Beasley played a big role in that. I do want to talk about Beasley for a second, though. I gotta address this. So Beasley has taken 3 big L's this year. it's not crazy, but you know, he's kind of on a losing streak. So earlier this season, he was on stream with famous streamer Neon, and he basically said that James Harden was easier to guard. Now, let me not do that. Let me not take it out of context. What he said was that James Harden was easier to guard than Steph Curry, which his reasoning was because Steph Curry, you have to chase him around screens, he has to run around a lot, and plus when he gets the ball, you can do all the dribble moves. Whereas James Harden, he's kind of just standing there, not standing there, but he's just dribbling in one spot, and then you just have to guess whether he's going to shoot or drive.
My favorite player of all time is James Harden.
Your favorite player of all time is James Harden?
Yeah.
He's easy to guard.
Hey,
wait, whoa, don't bait this viral. Hold on now. He's about to cook my ass.
I'm gonna tell him. I can tell Clippers. No one clipped that. I got you. No one clipped that.
What I meant to say was Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, they run nonstop off screen.
And Draymond, oh my God.
They just don't stop, right? James Harden, he does this. He's gonna dribble you. If you reach, he's good. But like, if you know the game, if you can just sit there and not let him. It's harder to guard someone who spins. It's harder to guard someone who's running around the whole game rather than somebody that lethal step back is insane. I mean, I had to guard him.
So, I mean, I've never guarded Steph Curry or James Harden, but I can imagine that would be a lot easier as far as on your body to guard than to be chasing Steph around screens. You see how much Steph moves around. So I don't think what he said was crazy. You know, they asked him and then he answered honestly. But on March 5th, James Harden really gave him 50. That is so crazy. Before that, James Harden hadn't scored 50 since 2019. And then he just went off for 50 against Malik Beasley. So that's one L. His next L was when he was going up against the Bucks. And then Giannis blocked one of his shots and did his shimmy. So Malik Beasley does this when he hits his three. He doesn't always do it, but sometimes he'll hit a three and then he does this like little shimmy, which looks more like a twerk if you ask me, but whatever. We'll call it a shimmy. So he does this little shimmy. Giannis blocked him and then did his shimmy. And then Malik Beasley got mad. So Giannis tried to shake. Giannis is like laughing, tried to shake his hand. And then Malik Beasley's like extra mad, pushing his hand off to the side. And Giannis tried like 3 or 4 times to shake his hand. And Malik Beasley's just smacking his hand away, smacking his hand away, smacking his hand away. It's like, Beasley, like, aren't you guys cool? Like, I get the whole competitive thing, but come on. You played with Giannis last year. You know Giannis is a goof. You know Giannis likes to play around a lot. And you can make an argument. Giannis got you paid. You can literally make that argument. I think Beasley still had to make the shots, of course, but playing with Giannis got you paid. Definitely. Who knows if you would have got that big contract in Detroit if you didn't have such a good year being next to Giannis. And you're going to act like this, like Giannis thought you guys were cool, so that's why he felt like he could do that. Giannis doesn't do that to random people. He did that to you because he thought you were cool. But he took himself too seriously. So what Giannis did after they got to the free throw line, Giannis sticks his finger in his face. He's like, I told you, this guy is not tough. So, and that's just a lesson. If someone's trolling you, either ignore them or just go by. But don't get all angry because that's what a troll wants. A troll wants to get you angry so they can keep trolling you. Because what's the fun if no one's going to get mad if you're trolling them? So he got mad and he kept trolling him. And this time he's borderline punking him, like sticking his finger in his face. Like, oh, you are not tough. You are not tough. And that's why I think players just should just stop taking themselves so seriously. Like, come on, Bees. You didn't have to treat Giannis like that. And then he went and tweeted after. He was just like, let someone stand over you, hit your ish, then try to help me up. In what world would you let that slide? I don't care how goofy he is. Like, Bees, you're taking yourself too seriously. Too seriously. It's kind of like when Giannis did the thing to Jaylen Brown where he just moved the handshake and then Jaylen Brown got all mad. And he's like, Giannis is a child. Like, guy. It's not that serious. It is not that serious.
Giannis is a child. You know, I'm just focused on helping my team get a win.
That's a lesson. Someone's trolling you, let it go. So that's another L. And then now you're sitting there tweeting at Anthony Edwards saying, oh, and I get it. It's just friendly competition. None of this is serious. This is all entertainment. But he tweeted at Anthony Edwards talking about, oh, Ant, you need 7 threes to beat me, which he probably thought Ant wasn't going to get it because 7 threes is a lot. Even in this era, hitting 7 threes in the game is still a lot. It's more common than it was before, but it's still a lot. But Ant got it, which is why I respect Ant. Ant answered the challenge. See, when people talk about face of the league, and I hate the whole face of the league narrative. I hate it. I feel like last year someone pushed a button. Someone pushed the face of the league button, and then everyone started talking about it every day. It's the worst thing. But when you're talking about a superstar that you want to carry the league, aka the face of the league, then Ant Edwards got to be that guy. He answered the challenge. He has more than just talent. But he literally answers the challenge. He doesn't back down. Yeah, I don't know, BZ. You've been playing great as a player. You've been having a great season, but man, these are took 3 big L's this year. It's funny, and all due to him talking. So sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut. But I'm glad it's all fun. Both of these guys are from the same city. They're both from Atlanta. They're probably friends. They probably met along the way. This isn't any beef. This is basketball, and I actually respect playing for stats if this is what it is. Like I respect this level of playing for stats, not David Robinson scoring 73 points and your team feeding you. Like whoa, that's crazy. You want to score 73 points for the scoring title? Go ahead. You can have it. You can have it. But you know, one player hitting 7 threes, the other player needs 7 threes to beat you when he comes out and hits it. I like that. I like that kind of stuff. It's better than what other teams are doing. Playing their last guy on the bench 40 minutes, seeing if he can go out for 30 points. You had Jaime Jaquez scoring 41 points today. Anyways. This Sports for Days. Stay tuned. Playoffs are about to start. We're going to bring you videos daily. We're going to keep you updated on everything that's going on. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.